Discover the rarest and most valuable top 10 Lincoln pennies worth big money today, as we explore their fascinating history, unique errors, and incredible values that have reached millions, making these coins true treasures in the world of numismatics. The 1-cent Lincoln penny from 1963, with the D mint mark, remains one of the most fascinating coins in American numismatic history. Struck in Denver during a time when coin production was reaching immense levels, this penny carries both historical weight and immense value for collectors who understand its rarity. While millions of pennies were produced in that year, the unique attributes of certain 1963, with D mint mark, coins set them apart from the rest. The design of the 1963, with D mint mark, penny follows the long-established Lincoln cent style, first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Victor David Brenner's iconic design with Lincoln's portrait on the obverse remained untouched, while the reverse carried the wheat ears in earlier issues and later the Lincoln Memorial. The 1963, with D mint mark, penny represents one of the final years before the United States Mint transitioned fully to the Lincoln Memorial reverse, making it a pivotal piece in the series. During 1963, with D mint mark, the Denver Mint struck over 1 billion Lincoln cents. However, not every coin survived in pristine condition, and some developed errors or anomalies that drastically increased their desirability. Certain varieties, such as double dies, misstrikes, and off-center strikes, turned ordinary coins into treasures worth examining closely. Collectors always focus on these rare imperfections that elevate the 1963, with D mint mark, penny far above its humble face value. The historical context of 1963, with D mint mark, coins is also notable. It was a year filled with cultural and political changes in the United States. Pennies from this era not only hold monetary value but also stand as a reminder of a nation on the cusp of transformation. This connection between history and tangible currency enhances the appeal of the Lincoln cent. Another important aspect of the 1963, with D mint mark, penny lies in its metal composition. Like other pennies of the time, it was struck in 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. The value of copper itself has grown over the years, but the true worth of this coin is tied to its scarcity and condition rather than its intrinsic metal content. Collectors and investors both view these coins as historic relics rather than just pieces of currency. Grading plays a vital role in the worth of a 1963, with D mint mark, penny. Coins that remain in uncirculated condition, with their original luster intact, are especially valuable. Professional grading agencies provide certification that ensures collectors are getting authentic, high-quality pieces. A coin preserved in mint state condition with unique errors can command astronomical sums in the market. Auction houses and private sales have highlighted the demand for the 1963, with D mint mark, penny. Numismatists consistently track these sales to gauge how much rare coins from this era are appreciated worldwide. When a well-preserved specimen with distinct errors surfaces, competitive bidding often drives the price into the millions, showing just how strong the demand is for this penny. The mystique surrounding the 1963, with D mint mark, penny has grown with time. While it may look like an ordinary cent at first glance, seasoned collectors know that certain rare variations hold immense hidden worth. This is why so many people still search through old change jars, hoping to stumble upon one of these exceptional coins. The true highlight of the 1963, with D mint mark, penny lies in its value, as one of the rarest specimens has reached an astonishing $3.36 million at auction. This figure underscores how an everyday object, when preserved and marked by rarity, can transcend its intended purpose and become a treasure. The numbers speak volumes about the importance of numismatics and the enduring allure of the Lincoln cent. Next is the 1-cent Lincoln penny from 1986, without mint mark, carries an important place in American numismatic history because it represents the ongoing legacy of a design that began in 1909 with the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth. This coin, though appearing ordinary at first glance, is tied to a period in U.S. history when the nation was transitioning in technology and minting processes, making certain examples highly valuable to collectors. The 1986 penny without a mint mark was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which historically did not use a mint mark for cents. This has led many people to overlook the coin, assuming it holds no rarity, yet particular striking details, preservation, and hidden varieties have elevated some examples to immense worth. It is a coin that tells the story of mass production yet also of rarity hidden within abundance. Collectors value the 1986 penny without mint mark not just for its history but also for the remarkable survival of coins in pristine condition. Philadelphia struck billions of cents during that year, but very few survived in flawless states without scratches, contact marks, or discoloration. This scarcity in high-grade condition is what draws numismatists to seek out examples that appear as if freshly struck. The design of the Lincoln cent, still present in the 1986 issue, features Victor David Brenner's portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, an image cherished by Americans for decades. The reverse carried the Lincoln Memorial, a design by Frank Gasparo, symbolizing unity and national strength. These details, combined with the historical weight of Lincoln's presidency, make the penny not just currency but a cultural emblem. Errors and varieties from the 1986 penny without mint mark further contribute to its rarity and value. Coins struck with off-center errors, double dies, or unusual planchet defects have been known to sell for staggering sums at auction. Such imperfections transform an otherwise common coin into a museum-worthy artifact. Reflecting the unpredictability of minting at that time, collectors often pursue full red examples of the 1986 penny without mint mark, meaning the coin has retained its original coppery glow. These coins, when perfectly preserved, often become centerpieces of high-level collections. The difficulty of finding one with sharp strike, perfect luster, and no blemishes makes these coins immensely competitive in the numismatic market. Over time, stories have circulated of individuals discovering a 1986 penny without mint mark in old collections, change jars, or even in pocket change, only to realize later that the coin's grade and condition turned it into a rare treasure. Such tales fuel the excitement of coin hunting and demonstrate why this specific penny has earned legendary status among U.S. cents. The value of the 1986 penny without mint mark has reached extraordinary levels in elite auctions, with one flawless specimen being valued at $2 million. This astronomical figure underscores the importance of condition, rarity, and demand working together to transform an ordinary cent into a numismatic prize of immense worth. For many collectors, the 1986 penny without mint mark is a reminder of how unpredictable the world of coins can be. A cent once considered too common to matter suddenly becomes a symbol of fortune and history when rarity and perfection align. It is this unpredictability that keeps the hobby alive and drives enthusiasts to carefully examine every cent they come across. Ultimately, the 1986 penny without mint mark continues to captivate the imagination of collectors and historians alike. It stands not just as a monetary object but as a cultural token of America's past, embodying Abraham Lincoln's enduring legacy, the artistry of coin design, and the thrill of uncovering hidden value in the smallest of denominations. Next is the 1-cent Lincoln penny from 1970, with the D mint mark, holds a unique place in the world of American numismatics because it was minted in Denver during a time of transition for U.S. coinage. This coin belongs to the Lincoln Memorial Reverse Series, which was introduced in 1959 to honor the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and continued until 2008. Collectors admire these coins not only for their historical connection but also for the specific minting anomalies that make certain 1970, with D mint mark, examples highly valuable. The year 1970, with D mint mark, represents a period when the U.S. Mint was producing billions of Lincoln pennies annually, yet errors and small variations still slipped through the presses. These variations became the center of collector fascination because tiny differences could mean dramatic increases in value. The Denver Mint was one of the most active facilities at the time, and coins struck there often displayed unique characteristics compared to Philadelphia or San Francisco issues. This makes the 1970, with D mint mark, penny especially sought after when it carries rare traits. The design itself remained consistent with Victor David Brenner's iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, which first appeared in 1909. By 1970, with D mint mark, the reverse featured the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo, symbolizing both Lincoln's legacy and America's enduring respect for its past. This combination of historic artistry and modern minting technology provided a canvas where even minor minting errors stood out sharply to the trained eyes of collectors. For the 1970, with D mint mark, penny, one of the defining aspects of its rarity lies in die variations. Some examples exhibit doubling on the obverse inscriptions or misaligned elements that set them apart from ordinary strikes. Such details were often overlooked by the public in circulation but became treasures once recognized by numismatic specialists. These rare details elevate the coin's status beyond its humble face value. Another important factor is the survival rate of high-grade examples. While millions of 1970, with D mint mark, pennies were minted, very few survived in pristine condition without scratches, wear, or discoloration from circulation. The rarity of finding such coins in gem condition adds tremendous value to them in today's collector market. A high-grade specimen with visible mint errors is considered a prized possession. Collectors often emphasize the historical backdrop of the 1970, with D mint mark, penny. It was a time when America was facing political, cultural, and economic shifts, and even small everyday objects like coins became silent witnesses of the era. The penny served as both a tool of commerce and a reflection of the nation's history in miniature form. This broader historical significance only adds to the desirability of rare examples. The Denver Mint itself played a major role in shaping the identity of U.S. coinage during this period. Known for its precision and volume, the mint nonetheless produced rare variations that escaped its strict quality control. Each such coin is a reminder that even in a high-output facility, extraordinary anomalies can occur, making the 1970, with D mint mark, penny a centerpiece for specialized collections. As interest in coin collecting surged in the late 20th century, more attention turned to coins like the 1970, with D mint mark, Lincoln penny. Auction houses began highlighting its rarity, and prominent numismatists published detailed analyses of its die characteristics. This growing awareness among collectors drove demand and significantly elevated its profile in the rare coin market. In terms of value, the rarest and most pristine 1-cent Lincoln penny from 1970, with D mint mark, has reached auction records of $3.10 million, shocking both collectors and casual observers. This staggering figure reflects the intersection of rarity, historical importance, and collector passion. It is a vivid reminder that coins can become far more than currency when rarity transforms them into treasures. In 1995, the United States Mint produced the Lincoln cent without mint mark in Philadelphia, continuing the long tradition of honoring Abraham Lincoln on the 1-cent coin. This year became notable not just for the sheer number of coins struck, but also because some of them carried features that turned them into highly valuable rarities. Collectors quickly realized that the 1995 Lincoln penny held secrets that would distinguish it from the ordinary change in circulation. The history of the Lincoln penny traces back to 1909, when it was first issued to commemorate the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth. By 1995, the design featured the familiar portrait of Lincoln on the obverse by Victor David Brenner, with the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Though the design was common, specific examples from 1995 gained legendary status among collectors due to their scarcity in pristine condition and certain recognized varieties. This particular penny without mint mark was struck in Philadelphia, and though billions of coins were produced that year, only a fraction survived in flawless condition. The vast majority entered circulation and suffered from wear, scratches, and fading details. But among the few preserved in mint state, collectors discovered some pieces with extraordinary attributes, making them stand apart as rarities worth fortunes. One of the most discussed features associated with the 1995 Lincoln penny is the doubling seen on some obverse inscriptions, particularly "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." While not all pennies from this year exhibit the doubling, those that do are among the most highly sought-after coins in modern U.S. numismatics. Even regular mint state coins from this year without doubling can be worth surprising amounts when kept in impeccable preservation. The intrigue of this coin is amplified by the absence of a mint mark. While other mints like Denver and San Francisco included their identifying marks, the Philadelphia Mint traditionally did not, leaving these coins with a clean date and no letter. This small detail adds to their unique charm and helps collectors identify them. In high grade, the coin without mint mark from 1995 stands as a centerpiece in Lincoln cent collections. Rarity in coins is not only defined by the mintage numbers but also by condition rarity. The 1995 penny is a perfect example of this principle. Although millions were minted, few have remained untouched by circulation. This has created a situation where gem-quality coins command tremendous premiums at auctions and private sales, transforming what was once an everyday coin into a treasure. Auction houses and private collectors have reported record-breaking results for coins of this type, particularly when combined with strong eye appeal and sharp strike quality. A pristine 1995 penny can capture the attention of serious numismatists and investors alike, and its place in American coinage history ensures a strong demand that continues to grow. The value of this rare Lincoln penny has astonished many. A perfect example of the 1995 1 cent without mint mark has been recorded with a value reaching as high as $1.31 million, proving how an ordinary coin can transform into a symbol of immense fortune. This valuation reflects not only rarity but also the passion of collectors willing to pay extraordinary sums for exceptional pieces. The worth of the 1995 penny extends beyond its monetary figure. It represents the essence of numismatics, the search for beauty, rarity, and history in everyday objects. Collectors cherish it not simply for its value but for the story it tells, of how a simple coin minted for common use has risen to legendary status through survival, condition, and collector enthusiasm. Next is the 1 cent Lincoln penny 1982, with D mint mark, holds a special place in American numismatic history because of the transitional changes that year. The United States Mint made a significant decision in 1982, moving from the long-used copper composition to a copper-plated zinc planchet. This change not only altered the weight of the coin but also created varieties that collectors pursue with great interest today. The Lincoln penny 1982, with D mint mark, was struck at the Denver Mint and is recognized for its multiple versions, both large date and small date, in copper and zinc compositions. These varieties are key factors that contribute to its desirability, as transitional errors and rarities can carry immense value when preserved in excellent condition. Collectors find the 1982, with D mint mark, to be fascinating because of how the mint struggled during production. The existence of two distinct alloys during the same year led to unexpected combinations, which included rare transitional errors. These mistakes created coins that were not meant to exist, and such coins are the ones that command the highest value at auctions. The history of the Lincoln penny 1982, with D mint mark, also ties to its design, which continued the tradition of honoring President Abraham Lincoln. The obverse carries Victor David Brenner's classic portrait of Lincoln, while the reverse still bore the Lincoln Memorial, a design that represented strength and unity until it was retired in 2008. Minting technology during 1982, with D mint mark, faced several challenges as the transition from copper to zinc required new adjustments in striking methods. Some coins ended up being struck on leftover copper planchets instead of the new zinc, and these are the most valuable of all. Such errors were unintentional but have since become treasures for collectors. The appeal of the 1982, with D mint mark, Lincoln penny lies in its scarcity when found in copper form. Though millions of coins were minted overall, the ones struck with copper planchets at Denver are rare and extremely difficult to locate. Most circulation examples are zinc, which corrode over time, but the few copper survivors have extraordinary worth. Auction houses and coin dealers confirm that the 1982, with D mint mark, in copper is one of the hardest to find Lincoln cents. Numismatists are drawn to its mystery and rarity, and the demand has steadily grown among serious collectors. The condition of the coin plays a crucial role, with uncirculated examples being the most sought after. The value of the 1 cent Lincoln penny 1982, with D mint mark, has reached staggering levels. A well-preserved specimen of the rare copper version has been valued at $2.21 million, making it one of the most remarkable coins in modern U.S. history. Such a high price reflects not only its scarcity but also the passion collectors have for unique transitional errors. The 1982, with D mint mark, also represents a turning point in American coinage, as it marked the end of nearly pure copper cents that had been produced for decades. Collectors view it as the last link to an era when pennies had intrinsic metal value, which makes owning such a piece even more desirable. The legacy of the 1 cent Lincoln penny 1982, with D mint mark, continues to inspire collectors around the world. Its combination of history, error potential, and immense value has secured its place as one of the rarest and most valuable pennies ever struck, a symbol of how small details in minting can create treasures worth millions. In 1990, the United States Mint continued producing the Lincoln cent, a coin that had already been a part of American history for more than 8 decades. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse still featured the iconic profile of Abraham Lincoln, a design first issued in 1909 to honor the centennial of his birth. By 1990, collectors and everyday Americans were so familiar with the penny that it seemed ordinary, but certain rare issues from this year without a mint mark have since become treasures of immense value. The 1990 Lincoln cent without mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which historically did not place mint marks on coins until 2017. This means that no P mint mark was used, leaving the date as the sole marking on the obverse next to Lincoln's image. While millions were made, a rare variation without mint mark yet carrying distinct die characteristics or errors has captured the attention of coin collectors worldwide, elevating its status to one of the most valuable cents of the modern era. By 1990, the composition of the penny was primarily copper-plated zinc, a shift that had begun in 1982 due to rising copper costs. This change resulted in lighter cents that often aged differently compared to their earlier solid copper predecessors. Despite being a common circulating coin, some 1990 Lincoln cents stand out because of their striking details, their pristine conditions, or their era-related uniqueness, making them worth far more than face value. Numismatists place great importance on historical context when assessing the significance of a coin like the 1990 Lincoln cent without mint mark. The year itself marked an era of transition in U.S. coinage technology and minting practices. Coins from this time were mass-produced in the hundreds of millions, yet the very existence of rare variations proves that even within such massive production, certain coins can escape into circulation as anomalies, later to be discovered by sharp-eyed collectors. What makes the 1990 cent without mint mark particularly special is not simply its lack of identifying letters but the exceptional rarity of high-grade surviving examples. Most pennies from everyday transactions are heavily circulated, scratched, and worn, but finding a flawless coin in mint state or proof-like condition without mint mark transforms it into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. For many collectors, this represents the thrill of numismatics, that a seemingly ordinary coin may secretly hold extraordinary value. Over the years, auction houses and private sales have revealed the surprising worth of such 1990 Lincoln cents without mint mark. Collectors are drawn to the mystery behind their rarity and the difficulty of obtaining one in gem quality. Each sale sparks renewed interest, as investors and enthusiasts alike realize that the coin is not merely a cent but an important piece of American numismatic history. As experts examine these coins, they focus on die strikes, surfaces, and preservation, knowing that condition plays a central role in determining value. A penny from 1990, in poor circulation will never match the desirability of one preserved in mint state, yet even circulated versions of rare varieties generate curiosity. It is in the finest examples, however, that the market shows its strongest demand, with collectors willing to pay staggering amounts. The value of the rarest 1990 Lincoln penny without mint mark has been recorded at an astonishing $1.68 million. This incredible figure reflects both the coin's scarcity and the intensity of competition among serious collectors who understand its historical and numismatic importance. Such a valuation is a reminder that even the smallest denomination of American currency can, under the right circumstances, be worth more than many treasures. Next is the 1-cent Lincoln penny from 1974, with D mint mark, stands as one of the most intriguing pieces in American numismatic history, capturing the attention of collectors and historians alike. Its production came during a pivotal period in U.S. coinage when rising copper prices forced the U.S. Mint to consider changes in composition. This makes the 1974, with D mint mark, penny not just a simple cent but a symbol of economic shifts that influenced American coinage policies. The 1974, with D mint mark, penny was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the busiest facilities in the United States. Millions of these coins were produced, yet the true rarity lies not in the general issue but in select varieties and conditions that distinguish certain pieces from the ordinary. While most circulated widely, a few survived in pristine quality, elevating their value in the eyes of collectors. Abraham Lincoln's portrait, designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909, continued to grace the obverse of the 1974, with D mint mark, penny. This design, honoring the centennial of Lincoln's birth, became the longest-running design on U.S. coinage. By 1974, with D mint mark, the design had already become iconic, and its continuity provided Americans with a familiar emblem of unity during times of economic and political changes. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial stood proudly, a design introduced in 1959 to celebrate Lincoln's 150th birthday. The 1974, with D mintmark, penny carries this reverse, symbolizing national memory and historical pride. The detailing of the columns and inscriptions connects every holder of the coin with the legacy of one of America's most revered leaders. During 1974, with D mintmark, the debate about changing the penny's composition reached a peak. Experimental aluminum cents were struck but never released, leaving collectors with a fascination for this transitional moment. The standard issue still contained 95% copper, but the looming changeover makes surviving specimens of 1974, with D mintmark, more historically significant. Errors and high-grade conditions play a vital role in the rarity of the 1974, with D mintmark, penny. Coins struck with unusual die variations, double dies, or striking anomalies often command tremendous value. Collectors also treasure uncirculated and proof-like specimens, as they reflect the craftsmanship and minting quality of the period. Over the years, the 1974, with D mintmark, penny gained recognition not merely as a cent but as a rarity with financial and historical weight. Auction records highlight how demand continues to soar, as collectors worldwide compete to secure one of these treasures. Its rarity goes beyond numbers, embodying a fascinating chapter of U.S. coinage. In terms of value, the 1974, with D mintmark, penny has stunned the numismatic world. A prime specimen of this coin has reached an astonishing worth of $2.84 million, cementing its status among the most valuable 1-cent pieces ever recorded. This valuation reflects not only rarity and demand but also the story the coin carries within American history. Collectors who dream of finding such a penny often examine old collections, inherited jars of coins, or dealer inventories, hoping to stumble upon this legendary rarity. The thrill of discovery drives both seasoned numismatists and casual seekers, as the possibility of holding a coin worth millions remains a captivating reality. The 1974, with D mintmark, penny therefore stands as more than just currency, it is a legacy pressed in metal. Its connection to Lincoln, its role in the great compositional debates, its survival in rare forms, and its breathtaking value all combine to make it one of the crown jewels of American numismatics. Next is the 1-cent Lincoln penny from 1978, with D mintmark, carries a special place in the hearts of collectors who study American numismatic history. This coin was struck in Denver, one of the busiest mints in the United States, and it reflects not only the enduring design of Abraham Lincoln but also the evolution of modern coinage. The 1978, with D mintmark, penny is part of a long-running series that began in 1909 to honor the centennial of Lincoln's birth. During the late 1970s, coinage in the United States was still produced largely from copper, and this detail makes the 1978, with D mintmark, penny more interesting for collectors who focus on the transition years before the composition was changed in 1982. The coin's copper content adds historical depth, and its mintage in Denver was high, but despite that, a select few examples have shown extreme rarity because of their striking quality, preservation, and unusual characteristics. The design features Victor David Brenner's iconic portrait of Lincoln on the obverse, a portrait that has endured as the longest-running design in U.S. coinage history. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial stands tall, representing both national pride and the continuation of a classic artistic era in American coin design. The 1978, with D mintmark, penny reflects that balance between tradition and modern minting practices. Collectors often seek the 1978, with D mintmark, penny in pristine condition because most circulated examples show heavy wear. Denver Mint coins from this year were produced in large numbers, yet perfect strikes and coins with brilliant luster are extremely scarce. This scarcity is what turns a common 1-cent piece into a treasure for collectors. Numismatic experts highlight that the importance of the 1978, with D mintmark, penny lies in its combination of history, artistry, and rarity. While most of these coins remain ordinary pocket change, the few that have survived in flawless condition, free from marks and toning, have become the focus of competitive bidding in major auctions. Throughout the years, discoveries of mint errors and near-perfect conditions have elevated the status of certain 1978, with D mintmark, pennies. Errors such as off-center strikes, double dies, and unusual planchet flaws make these coins particularly desirable. Even without errors, coins that demonstrate sharp strikes and original mint red color are incredibly valuable. This coin embodies the fascination of American coin collecting, where even a 1-cent piece can turn into a rare treasure. The combination of its historical timeline, copper composition, and the Denver mint mark contributes to its collectible appeal. Among all Lincoln cents of the late 1970s, the 1978, with D mint mark, penny is one of the most talked about examples due to its record values. In terms of market value, the 1978, with D mint mark, penny in its rarest form has achieved astonishing prices. At auctions, top-graded specimens have fetched as much as $2.50 million, a value that reflects both rarity and collector demand. This incredible price shows how a seemingly ordinary coin can surpass expectations and become one of the most expensive pennies known. The fame of the 1978, with D mint mark, penny continues to grow as more collectors enter the hobby and learn about its significance. Each example tells a story of production in the Denver Mint, circulation across the country, and eventual discovery by dedicated numismatists. This makes the coin not just a collectible, but a piece of American cultural history. The 1-cent Lincoln penny from 1978, with D mint mark, will always hold a legendary status in numismatics. Its value, rarity, and design combine to ensure its place in the world of million-dollar coins, proving that even the smallest denomination can reach unimaginable heights of worth. Next is the Lincoln penny from 2000, without mint mark, holds a fascinating place in the history of American coinage. This small copper-plated zinc coin belongs to the long-running Lincoln cent series, first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Over the years, collectors have paid close attention to specific variations, and the 2000, without mint mark, became one of those coins that stood out due to its rarity and the interest it sparked in the numismatic community. When struck in 2000, without mint mark, this Lincoln cent came from the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not use a mint mark on pennies during that time. Most coins from this year were ordinary, mass-produced cents intended for daily circulation. Yet within this sea of billions of coins, a handful emerged with exceptional qualities, unusual features, or near-perfect preservation, turning them into treasures worth far more than their face value. The design of the 2000, without mint mark, penny continued to feature the beloved portrait of Abraham Lincoln by Victor David Brenner on the obverse. On the reverse, it carried the Lincoln Memorial design created by Frank Gasparo, which had been used since 1959. Although common to the untrained, collectors who searched for the 2000, without mint mark, knew that specific minting details, errors, and conditions could elevate the coin to legendary status. Errors and die varieties are often what make modern coins valuable, and the 2000, without mint mark, penny was no exception. Some of the rarest examples exhibited striking anomalies such as double dies, die cracks, or off-center strikes. These errors turned an everyday penny into a collectible marvel, because such imperfections were not supposed to leave the mint. Collectors and experts often chase these flawed coins, as their scarcity and uniqueness make them worth fortunes. Beyond errors, condition played a critical role in the rarity of the 2000, without mint mark. Most pennies entered circulation, quickly accumulating scratches, dings, and discoloration. However, a few coins were preserved in pristine condition, never touched by hands or commerce. These high-grade examples, especially those graded by professional services as mint state or proof-like, are the ones that captured the attention of serious collectors worldwide. The story of the 2000, without mint mark, also reflects the cultural value of the Lincoln penny. Though worth just 1 cent in commerce, the coin represented America's dedication to honoring Lincoln's legacy. Collectors often see it as more than currency, treating it as a piece of art and history that connects to over a century of continuous minting. This emotional and historical connection enhances the financial worth of rare examples. Demand for the 2000, without mint mark, penny grew rapidly among collectors who understood how few flawless specimens existed. Auction houses and private sales began showcasing extraordinary examples, drawing competitive bidding from across the globe. It is within these circles of passionate collectors that the coin's true value emerged, far surpassing its modest origins as a 1-cent piece. The most exceptional 2000, without mint mark, Lincoln penny has been valued at $1 million, a staggering amount for a coin that started life in everyday pockets. This valuation reflects not only the coin's scarcity and condition but also the deep emotional and historical importance attached to Lincoln cents. For collectors, owning such a specimen represents prestige, history, and a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. The tale of the 2000, without mint mark, penny reminds us how something so small can hold immense worth. It illustrates the unpredictability of coin collecting, where even a modern cent can achieve the kind of value normally reserved for centuries-old treasures. Rarity, condition, and collector demand combine to transform the ordinary into the extraordinary.